So good afternoon. This week's review is going to be about Oxford and some of the range of aircraft that they offer. So I've grabbed 4 bits out of the shed, 3 of which are blue box, which are a different range, and 1 which is the standard range. So let's start with the Saltfish from 1940 from Narvik in Norway on HMS Furious. Then we're on to the blue box range. So we've got the Scottish Airways Dragon Rapide. Then we've got the Avro Edison from RAF de.havilland in 1940. And finally the Admiral's Barge Sea Dove from the blue box range as well. So I spoke about Oxford and the types of ranges they offer. So we start with the Saltfish. This is what we call the standard Oxford Aviation archive. And it's quite extensive. There's a good 60, 70, maybe even 80 planes now made by them. It seems to have slowed down a lot since the Colgi announcement that Oxford were joining with Colgi. It seems to have it used to be about 3 or 4 releases a month, but really sort of eased off recently. But generally they are wheels up only. So naturally I chose an aircraft with wheels down, i.e. the Saltfish. But they offer a whole range of stuff. You know, the Lysander they do is fantastic. Gloucester Gladiator, which is wheels down. The Arado float plane, there's a new prototype version of that out. Plus some of the rare Japanese aircraft as well, like an Oscar and the Heinz, obviously Zeros and other such things. And there's US naval aircraft like Hellcat, which they don't do a Wildcat yet, which is quite strange. Corsair. And then you've got different types of Spitfire. You've got the Spitfire 1s, you've got a German coded Spitfire 1 now, you've got a Spitfire 9 with clip wings. But they're also the same mould as the Atlas Edition range. I'm sure you've all seen them in the paper, where you can get the Spitfire 1 and ME109E, like £2 or something like that, and then the next one's about £8, and then the sets then go up to like £30 a pair. And they're not bad. They cover some rare and wonderful stuff, but overall the finish on the Oxford, the Atlas ones isn't amazing. But like I said, they do some rare stuff in there. You know, like the ME108, which Oxford also do now. Rommel's 108 in the desert, which is a really nice looking aircraft. Yeah, but they're great. They're great a great starting point of collecting. You know, some are better than others, naturally. But some of the stuff they do is absolutely great. Like I say, the Saltfish they do is decent. I think if we was to nitpick, no pilot in there, which can frustrate a lot of people. But for me, it's not a bad thing to fix. Most of the canopies come off pretty easily. You can get, I might have to buy the Hobby Master pilots and put them in there. But there's the Saltfish. I'll just give it a little bit of a walk around. Decent looking finish. No movable propellers as well on the standard range, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. It doesn't really, unless you're going to use them as toys, it doesn't really detract for me. But nice looking aircraft. No rigging in there, which is a shame. But you can pick these up for sort of £15. Sometimes a little cheaper second hand on eBay. And they're quite readily available as well in model shops. Probably more readily available in Colgi now. But they're well worth, a nice starting point to your collection. So let's move on to the blue box range. So the blue box range, I think, is Oxford's real sort of niche, and they've absolutely nailed it. They're usually around £30 for whatever aircraft it is in the blue box range they offer. So some of the stuff they do is the 3 we covered, obviously the Anson and the Dove. You've got Puss Moth, the Comet, the de Havilland Sea Hornet, which is absolutely stunning. And just more than just recently they released the Twin Beach as well, which looks really, really nice and well worth getting. I'm just hopeful in the future they can release some more weird and wonderful stuff like the Western Whirlwind, the Ferry Battle, maybe a Firefly or some Seafires. But one thing you'll notice on this lovely Dragon Rapide, which is a really, really beautiful mould, and they do all the different dragons as well, with the different noses and whatnot. Is the rigging. The rigging's in there, it's decent, it's really, really good looking. The rigging on the Walrus they do as well is absolutely stunning. It's really, really good. I know there was a few QC issues with a few aircraft out and about, but again, another rare aircraft that some of the major manufacturers were too scared to handle or take on. There's a bit of a financial risk, but Oxford absolutely nailed it. So yeah, the Rapide, this one's one of Scottish Airways one. I believe this one is often seen at Duxford doing pleasure flights with classic wings. Someone can correct me on that, but I'm certain I've seen the Scottish Airways one now. You can go up in one at Duxford for under 200 quid, I think it is, and you know, get a nice tour of Cambridgeshire in the area. They often potter over London as well, over central London. I remember when I worked there, I used to see them potter over central London quite a lot on the sightseeing tours. But lovely little aircraft. The other difference as well is your moving props, as you can see. Again, no pilot figure in there, which is a bit of a bummer. But a lovely display box. If I can show you one, just a bit up close, giving it a bit of a wipe over, as you can see it's dusty. I won't bother opening it up because that would just waste some time. But nice foam inner in there with up, you know, if you have an up and down undercarriage, actually the Rapide doesn't. That's in a little bag and a little stand as well, with a history of the aircraft. And for each manufacturer, they put the aircraft insignia on the front, so you can see with the de Havilland one there. Lots more, there's probably more de Havilland aircraft in the blue box range than anything else. But yeah, lovely looking aircraft. So let's move on to the Avro Edison. There's a few of these been produced. There's a Southeast Asian Command one, which looks gorgeous. I think there's an all yellow one now, a Canadian one that's been released. But this one here is the old Stalwart, which is a bomber trainer. So used for air gunnery and practicing bombing. It could hold 2 100-pounders, which is pretty much just spitting at the enemy. Pretty much used to use it as an actual bomber, but it was really handy in training bomber command pilots and gunners, giving them a bit of experience before they get into the big boys like the Wellington and Manchester and Halifax, Stirling, Lancaster, further down the line. So as you can see, nice looking Avro Edison. There's one very similar to this flying in New Zealand in this configuration. We're lucky to have 2 in Britain, one at the Shuttleworth collection, and there was another one, an all silver one. I forget where that's based. I think it's based in the sort of West Midlands or somewhere like that. But yeah, we're very lucky to have 2. And it took part in the Queen's fly past some years ago when they all gathered at Duxford. So that's the lovely Edison. And the final one is the Admiral's Barge Sea Dove. So this is a Royal Navy Air Station aircraft, right in the very garish green now. Again, nice crisp mould. This is a tail sitter, so Oxford recognised that, thankfully, and put a little pin. I don't know if you can see. It's a bit of a git to fix, but it stands it up nice and straight. Again, movable propellers and interchangeable undercarriage. I'm not certain about the undercarriage because the doors are silver and it's an all green aircraft, so I don't know if that's correct or not. Someone might be able to correct me on that. But again, nice crisp mould. And if you go down to Headcorn Aerodrome in Kent, lovely little aerodrome near Leeds Castle, you can fly in one of these alongside a Spitfire with Aero Legends, and it's not going to cost you the earth to do either. I know a few people have flown a Spit now. I know one guy who, a member of this page, and who took a lot of his friends and family up in the Dove woes in the Spitfire, gallivanting over the Kent countryside. I actually see him on the morning of his flight, funny enough. I was playing a round of golf near Leeds Castle, and he come bowling down for breakfast, and I recognised him and we had a good chat, and I know he was grinning like a Cheshire cat before he even got in the plane. So yeah, really nice model. A couple of versions of this available. It's pretty garish in the green, but I think it's nice to have alongside the other Avro aircraft and de Havilland aircraft. So that's it for me on this one. I'm going to do a very short one on the Fury later on because I managed to find that in the shed. Any questions, as always, please let us know. Just a big thing for us, we're going to be doing a World Cup of favourite aircraft. So myself, Dan, Tim, Matt and James will be choosing our favourite diecast model, and then we're going to put up a number of models on the site which you can vote for, and the top 3 will go through to just an 8-team or an 8-model face-off. We're doing day by day, and we crown the champ. And then the following week we're going to do a very similar thing. We'll choose our 5 what we want from Corgi or from Hobby Master or wherever manufacturer, and then we put up a list and see what you guys choose as well, and we put them to the vote. So we do that we do the World Cup of our choice this week, and next week we do the World Cup of potential future models. Right, have a good week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.